See that you're born an Italian if you want your life to be great. See that you're born an Italiano and your life will be great.
How about some Donatello?
That's a nice.
Paisani, and welcome back to another episode of the Italian American Podcast. I'm John Viola, along with my partner in crime, the notorious P.O.B. Patrick O'Boyle.
We have a wonderful guest. Yeah, we had a whole pregame.
You both go right through. What do we got? Pregame's over. We're in Red Sauce Studios, corner Mulberry Grand, Little Italy, New York. Yada yada. Go. You're excited about the guest.
Yeah, I'm. You go ask me. I'm reading his bottle.
You're very happy.
So I'm in goodbye mode.
So
you
checked out. So you jumped in on the intro and then left.
Do you know what somebody? Can I say a couple? I received. It gets back to me because some people insult me directly to my face and others behind my back. That I cut off guests and I speak over them.
Yes,
that's me. Please stop listening. If you don't like me, why do you listen? If
I don't know.
Annoying, what are you going to do? What are you going to? You could muzzle me. That's who I am.
Didn't somebody say that you shouldn't let me dress like a fool too?
Oh yeah, we got you ready for this? See why am I aggravated 24/7? I had someone contact me to say that John dresses like a clown multiple times, and if I was a real friend, I would.
I started sending you pictures in the morning. Pat, do I look like a clown?
No, my response was, "This is a fun." I didn't say you look like. I said, "But it's a fun podcast."
It's fun. Yeah.
They went after. Know what they went after? The sweaters.
I can't believe that.
But I was like, "It's fun. It's a fun podcast."
Silly.
But if he did dress like a clown, there's professional clowns. Like
I should come on here
France
as a
gives
clown.
you medals. If you're Jerry Lewis,
I should do
France
an episode
gave
as a mime.
Right, and you get the Croix de Guerre, whatever that. You got a knighthood in France for being
true.
a clown.
Yeah.
But people, you gotta say something. Everybody's
a critic.
Everybody's a critic. I stopped listening. If the Italians told me that I was fat, did I ever tell you the fat story? The Italians, number one, they think I don't understand Italian. They comment, yeah, listen, I think I look skinnier in person than I do on the camera answers. Not that I'm not
I saw pictures of me.
Pounds on me, right?
I'm looking bigger and bigger in pictures every day. I can tell you that much.
The camera's no friend,
no,
right? And
no,
so
it's not.
it was. We didn't have the air working, right? It was schwitzing in here, very New York word. It was like being in a sauna, right? And I sweat. It doesn't take me. I'm sweating, and I had on a polo shirt, so I was a little Dolly Parton. That's in the moment because I got a broad chest, right? And the Italians are commenting on the thing like, if he lost 20 kilos, he wouldn't be sweating. All these horrible. I was like, let's go to your house and see why don't you drop. Let's see how you look.
Nobody can. Everybody's
got 2 cents.
I think you both look fantastic.
Well, thank you very much. That's why you're
How
here
did we
today.
go off on that? But if you think I cut people off or I'm annoying or anything else, please stop listening.
I'm getting to the point now where I'm starting to think nowadays people watch stuff that they like, but they also watch stuff that they don't like to get aggravated or to find things to nitpick and criticize and stuff like that.
Can I say this? Because this is your. This is I like you being CEO because you get all the headaches. I don't get them. I go home, right? But I would like to invite those people that would bring them in here. They can have their own podcast, and let's see what their numbers are like. So you are the because my thing is this:
free facility.
They're mean comments. They're not mean.
I know. That's one thing I can't abide by: meanness. Meanness is that rubs me the wrong way. You could say a lot of things. You can criticize this show.
My grandmother had a lot of Neapolitan nasty curse words, but you have your children listening.
I know.
And I don't want.
But see, the difference there is that the meanness now with the media is that lots of people participate in that meanness because it's just like, I'll just type it. But at the table, at the Italian table, that meanness was real meanness because
yes, that's very true.
They just say it right to your face.
Yes, there was a directness that is not the same when you're separated
engaged,
by a screen.
Especially the Italians who make nasty comments like you're fat, look how you're schwitzing and sweating and stuff like that. I invite come over. I will get the money to fly you over here and get on here. Just say it right in front of me. Say it here. You can say it in Italian. I'll respond to your body. You can say it in Italian. I understand. I can watch Rye, no problem. You just tell me.
I don't know. I think about it a lot. I think I'm at the point now, we've been doing this for so long where I used to think about what people thought about us, and now I just don't. Now I think like we've got our audience. They like what we're doing, I hope.
Haters are a mark of success in the Italian community.
Yeah, that's very true.
Quando brutta la gelosia. Yeah, correct. That's why we got to get. And last thing, so what do? You produce things?
No. I
want to get it right underwear.
That's just a gift. That's just a gift.
I'm working on the red underwear. We're coming. We got a lot of. Speaking of, let's do a little quick commercial before we start because we got Janello. We're going to call you today. Jason Anello's here. He is from. You have seen him probably out there on social media, Forking Tasty, and now this great project around red sauce. Which obviously here we are in our Creation Red Sauce Studios. Our website's redsauce.com. We are obsessed with red sauce. So what a pair we make here with Janello. But before that, we have a product that I don't know when this episode will air, but it just got in this week.
Oh, the lollipops.
It is Paisani Pops. We've invented these. These are artisanal Italian-American lollipops. 4 flavors to start. Nikki can do a close-up on the screen. Tricolor or rainbow cookie or 7-layer, if you will. I would say figurina, prickly pear, Indian fig, the Sicilian flavor, Aperol spritz, and cannolo. So if you are in the mood for a little pocket treat of Paisanness, the Paisani Pops, available here at Red Sauce Studios.
Could we send these to our critics so
Absolutely,
they go suck on our Paisani?
There you go.
Go suck on our Paisani.
That's perfect.
Those are great, though.
Thank you.
He
very
put
much.
a lot of time. He put people see the studio. This is the museum of John's brain. When he came up with this, we were here. We had a lollipop tasting. He came here like we you know, like when people get married, they have a tasting. You had a lollipop tasting.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's true.
He had people come around, suck on this. This how's his taste. He said the whole staff here was.
That's amazing. I think you guys slip a couple of these into the cookie tins this year.
You're not kidding. That's very true.
The way
We should get these spread out. It's a great Christmas gift stocking stuffer if you're out there. But I'm learning to plug stuff more. But the reason we talk about plugging product is because our guest here brought us his own homemade limoncello that you make and give as a gift. That was very, very kind of you. And you are a creator, really, right? That's kind of all the categorizing and cataloging and writing and stuff you're doing. But you're really a creator.
I am. I think that's probably the through line of everything that I've been through my whole career, even sort of professionally outside of the Italian American stories that I do. It's I started as a designer actually and an art director, like in my professional career, and then
you could see this is so well done.
Like I said to you guys before we started, it looks like you could buy it, but that's just how I've done everything. I'm like. And it's all really for me, though. More like, I want the label to look like this, and I want a little character on it, and this. And, I give it away to people. I make it once a year, and, it's just a nice little gift. But people sometimes react to it like, where can I buy this?
Yeah. But if you're going to do something, you might as well do it right?
That's what I think.
What is your professional background?
So I'm... I call myself an experienced strategist. I'll unpack that a little bit.
Yeah,
but
please.
So I said I started as an art director and a designer. But an experienced strategist really is like, I used to be a creative director. I married that I used to be a marketer. I married that and brand strategy. So like those 3 things together allows me to like create experiences for people, for brands, for things, and think about all little details, which is why I can make a label like that. But I've designed restaurants, I've designed apps, I've designed websites, I've designed full brands. And all of that together is what I call experience design or experience strategy.
That's interesting.
Can I ask you a question? I learned this hanging around him. Your gift, God bless you, your gift in design, right, is from, that's a D'Angelo gene. That's your grandfather. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
Genetic on my case.
And I think music and art, all those things are genetic, right? Where do you get the eye from? That you could see this. Where's your creativity?
Interesting
come
question.
From?
And I just found
is it in the family? Do you have that stuff in your family?
It's kind of not. I mean, I always say that it's my grandfather on my mother's side is the one who was the most creative and also the most outgoing. Like this man, he's my only relative that came from Italy. That generation. Like everybody else came from Italy, but a generation prior to that, right? So I grew up with him being my like real connection to Italy, trying to teach me Italian, which I never learned. But the man spoke 7 languages, and we would like go to Sears, and that probably dates me right out the gate here.
All of us were with you.
We go to Sears, and he'd start talking to somebody in Portuguese,
yeah,
and then somebody else in Spanish, and so like he just was this sort of outgoing connector. But he was a tailor, he was a barber, he was all these things. And so I think. The creative side comes from that. I don't know where the eye comes from though. Like,
but you need an eye to be a barber.
I guess that's
you
true.
need an eye to be a tailor.
That's true.
That's
right.
100%.
I've been finding that lately because talk about creativity, and I always come back to the idea of like the fine Italian hand, right? That there is a predisposition. I'm convinced genetically there's a predisposition in Italian people towards creativity and aesthetic and fineness. You know, we had a clip going lately on social where you're talking to Federico Marchetti, I think was the guest, about pastry boxes in Italy and how fine they are, right? And how, like, you know, and I always come back to that idea that there is something inherently creative in the DNA. And I was up with my grandparents this weekend, and my grandfather's and my grandmother, both visual artists, like I think I tend to be, although it's not my whole profession. And I was talking to somebody about the ability to write. And I said, you know, I've learned, even editing this show when I used to edit it, I was just as much an artist taking sound bites of these sometimes 5-hour conversations we'd have and crafting them into an hour or 45 minutes as I am when I'm, you know, drawing or painting or sculpting, whatever. And a writer's doing the same thing with words, or, you know, in the case of an academic, they're doing the same thing with quotes and citing. And so I think a lot of it is what your medium is, but how you are the arbiter of all of these inputs coming into one presentation. I think that's something that our people tend to be really good at. That's just, I don't know, it was a diatribe, but I think about that a lot. What makes us that way?
Where was your grandfather from? Was he Sicilian?
No. So that grandfather was from, you're gonna I can't wait to hear your reaction to this, because I always say he's from Lazio. He's from a small town called Fundi, which is in the very south of Lazio. So
that was stolen from Campania.
It's almost Campania, right?
Campania,
No, that is Campania. You know, Mussolini, was it 1938? Did you know? I don't know if you know this. Mussolini wanted Lazio to be bigger because he thought that because Campania was geographically bigger than Lazio. So he cut off the top of Campania and glued it onto Lazio.
Yeah.
There you go.
That is
Frosinone,
that was all irredeemed Campania.
Yeah, it was all the Kingdom of Two Sicilies.
One day we're going to go in and bring them back because they were. That's because they're Neapolitan. I mean, when I say Neapolitan, I mean as the region of Campania,
right?
Not the
regional,
city.
yeah.
But that area is Campania.
Linguistically,
100%.
yeah, 100%.
So
linguistically,
so Nardone is that last name, Nardone. But as it connects to the limoncello, they were citrus growers. So the first time I went there, there was citrus trees, old growth citrus trees all over the place. They've since stopped doing that, and now there's houses and buildings all around. But the old trees are still there.
Wow.
But that's sort of what that part of the family did. They didn't make limoncello, but
right.
Do you know what the breeds? What would you call them? The varietals of the citrus were?
I don't.
You got an email cousin over there.
I will. He might know. It's because I don't speak Italian. They probably told me at some point because they were pointing out all the trees when I was there, but I don't remember.
No, because the reason I say is that there are people in Italy because they had the same thing as us, right? So they had commercial crops, this is the new lemon and stuff like that. Then especially within the grape industry, and there was a lot of autochthonous native. And citrus came into Italy, right? So I think it probably came in with the Arabs and stuff like that. But there's a lot of micro varieties of stuff in Italy. There was a grape, I think. It was a grape. And they were looking for this grape variety that they knew existed, but that had kind of gone out commercially, let's say in the 1880s and early 1900s. And they thought it had gone extinct. And somebody had it in their backyard.
Yeah.
We're going to do this limoncello. We're going to go to California.
We're going to have a limoncello
Some
party.
seeds might fall out of your pocket accidentally. And we're not going to have, because you're using Sicilian lemons now.
Yes. In these, it was Sicilian lemons.
We're going to use lemons from Fundi.
That's great.
Now all the Sicilians are going to come here.
We're going to have to go find the lemons from Fundi.
No, I shouldn't say, but the Sicilian lemons are probably fantastic, but the Fundi would be a micro varietal. You could say this is made from the Fundi.
Yeah. I would love that.
Do you say that this is a Sicilian lemon on here?
I don't think so. Maybe on what it connects to when you scan that little QR code and there's the whole video that explains what it is. But it's different every year. Like I said, it's a small batch for family and
people,
friends.
right? Yeah.
So like I was saying, also I also make a bergamot version of it. So it's like whatever I find that's interesting citrus.
We gotta have that bergamot.
I'm like, let's try and cello this.
I gotta tell you though, you talk about presentation and your background, and you look at something like this, and then you think this is an evolution forward of the Compari who brings over homemade wine in a repurposed Pellegrino bottle, right? That's like like you're just taking the time to make it your beautiful version, but it's the same spirit, right? It's like I made this and I want to share it with you. I'm sharing of myself. There's a beauty to that, right? That like you can do all these creative things in terms of presentation and the respect that you have for what you're doing. But it's the same spirit as, hey, I just filled up a recycled bottle.
Right. I think that connects to your comment about like designing things, Italians designing things. Like a Ferrari is beautifully designed, but it is not a car that you just drive every single day.
Right.
Right. And so like same thing with like the red sauce map that I just made is it's made to the standards that I wanted it to be, not to the standards that I thought it should be because somebody said that to me.
That's the Italian thing.
I think it starts there.
My Way is the Italian-American national anthem.
Right.
When you think about My Way. Frank Sinatra,
true.
you took any other, people like, that's what they're doing, gentlemen. No, it's My Way.
Right. But the beauty of that is when you do it my way,
correct. That's
and then other people are like, I like your way. Not necessarily because it's focused that way, like your way. It's like other people do like things that other people make, obviously. Yeah. So a lot of people have Ferraris. A lot of people like this thing, like that thing.
Because there's pride to things. You put like...
Yes, it's pride. There's a great...
I sought you out to come out here because I stumbled onto what you're doing with the red sauce map. That's like if you said to me, of all the things I've ever done, what is the missing piece of the puzzle? It's the red sauce map. That's my dream quest. Now, I can't leave my wife and kids every night and go out and eat red sauce. I would do that, honestly. I would get in the car and drive around the country to find every place. I'm obsessively passionate about it because I think these places, normally, right, they are at least over 40, 50 years old, right? That's kind of the bar, right? Something from the 80s, maybe early 90s. They are the product of a purely, I think, organic, this is my kitchen, come eat. There's no market testing. Maybe nowadays some of the older ones to keep, but like they're not market testing recipes. They're not like, going through mood boards of what should the place look like. They are what they are. And you could lose your favorite restaurant, an Italian restaurant, whatever. If it's a newer place, you may not get the same dishes, but you may get an equal kind of experience. When you lose an old place, you lose a time machine and access to a spirit and an energy and an aesthetic and smells and whatever that you can't recreate. You just, with all due respect to the Carbones of the world, you can't Disneyfy, right? Like this set is a Disney version of a red sauce booth. We know that. But when the places are gone, they're irreplaceable.
So the red sauce place that you brought me within the last year that I was really impressed with. And I said this is like Jersey 30 years ago.
Can we say on there?
I don't. But then everybody's gonna go. Yeah, say it. I don't even know the name of the place. I don't know if you're a regular. I don't want you to say me. No. And I showed up and there were.
Do you know this place in Stanford, Pellegrini? Pellegri's? No, hold on. Let me get this right. We might as well say it on it. It's Pelici's in Stamford, Connecticut.
You bring all these people to my restaurant. I hope you're happy, Pelici.
And I got that recommendation.
That was so good.
Steve Chirulli gave me that recommendation, and he's a Connecticut guy, and he kept telling me, you got to go, because he's another red sauce fanatic. He used to, going to Kansas City Steakhouse. So we're always trading pictures, and he's like, you got to go, And we went, and it was time travel.
It was fantastic, but I loved everything I ate.
Me too.
But the thing is, I thought to myself, like, why do we have this crisis that I feel that there's less and less of these places, at least in the New York metro area, right? Number one is the kids didn't want to take over the business, right? Because restaurants are very difficult.
Yep.
They suck up your entire life. And I think the second thing is that in the 80s, the Marcello Hazan army walked in and said, this is not really Italian food, right? So they demonized and bastardized, and it's not Italian American, it's Italian American food, chicken parmesan and everything else. That was demonic, right? Stuffed clams. And I think that I call it the Marcello Hazan mentality was, okay, this is a bastardized food that's not really worthy.
Yeah.
And it was demonized, and I love that. I'm trying to say like mussels in a tomato sauce, and I could die. And
it makes me think of you when you and I went to Rayo's one night, and you were asking Joey what happened to Scarol.
Yeah, correct.
And he's been there for all these years, and he was going through like the trajectory of when Scuttle sort of became passé to the new crowd. So how do you define red sauce for your purposes?
So it's interesting because I built this red sauce map to share the stories of Italian American culture through the food businesses.
Yeah.
And that's why it's Italian delis, pizzerias, and red sauce joints. So it's obviously the old school stuff, like that standard menu that we all kind of know, veal parmesan and all that stuff. But it doesn't have to have the booths and that stuff. And I think the other thing, to your point, Pat, what you were saying before about why it's going away, nobody's there to take them over, is one that I found in like talking to them. Because now in the videos that I do, I've started to do a little bit more interviews, which is really getting to the stories that I'm trying to highlight, which is what putting the map together is all about. But also, I have a bad memory, and it helps me remember all these places. So it is the older places, but there's a lot of new places. Well, I'll come back to that in a sec, though. So these red sauce joints, they've got the standard menus and they got the standard stuff, but they're closing because the kids, there's no one to take them over. They're closing because there's no one to take them over. Also, it's sometimes because they're like, oh, this real estate's worth $4 million.
Yeah, sure.
We're done.
Sure.
We're done.
Why not?
There was one that closed in Providence recently, Old Canteen, I think, which was sad to see it go, but they sold it for tons of money.
You can't fault the families, right? They killed themselves for generations. They might as well cash in a lotto ticket.
And then the third one that I'm discovering is that people just don't shop that way anymore.
Yeah.
Right? And that kind of brings us back to new school red sauce joints or new school, old school red sauce joints like the Carbones.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that's happening.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of what I think social media has helped some of these old spots live, and while others have died and closed, like was it Bari in Bensonhurst that recently closed that deli? Like they just didn't have people who were coming in because everybody goes to wherever they go, Safeway, Whole Foods, whatever the thing is, and buys everything at once. We used to shop really differently.
He made the bet when Body Pork Store was closing. On the social media, he made a comment. One of the gentlemen there, he goes, "We can't survive on you coming once a year for Christmas."
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's a T-shirt, like right there.
Yeah.
That encapsulates it.
It's interesting, like the different patterns too, because you see it, and again, the real estate thing is one we don't talk about, right? You saw it with Forlini's down the street here that was here forever. You know, it kind of was cut off from Little Italy by Canal Street, but that side, I mean, Little Italy was everything down here for such a long time, but it was sort of like a survivor appendage on the other side of Canal. And it was chugging along, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, we went there years ago before COVID, remember? We went to Forlini's.
Yeah.
It hit
right.
like this peak of like, it became an Instagrammable thing to go in the booth like this, but it was just, it was what it was. And then all of a sudden, you know, had this nice run of like everybody wanted to be there or be there. So it wasn't a matter of the business being sour. It's a matter of like, oh, it's a great real estate. Nobody wants to do this anymore. And here we're going to cash out our chips off the table. And, you know, I see it a lot, especially this new school red sauce sort of movement, which I think is an evolved appreciation for our distinct Italian American cuisine traditions, shopping traditions, products. It's like Ferdinando's in Brooklyn, right? That's one of my top 5
That was
places.
a tragedy.
So sad.
But you can't blame the family,
tragedy.
right? Like it's our buddy, and there's a Sicilian restaurant with a highly regarded restaurateur open up there now, and like people can, you know, deservedly get excited about it. It's a trade-off. It's not apples to apples. You know, you lose one thing, but you get another.
Yeah, but and I agree with you in that. But the new stuff, there's not as much of it as the old stuff that's closing.
No. The replacement rates.
The replacement
it's like Italy's
rate.
birth rate. There's not the replacement rate you need.
But you know, you brought up a great point. You know, the one thing that this happened to me, aggravation I had this morning, right? I don't want to even give this company the time of day to mock them online. I bought something that was technologically, and you know technology for me is a big mountain to climb. And they changed a part of it. So now the money I laid out last year, it no longer works. And I was stunned because I bought this and I thought that everything would connect, to make a long story short. And all I want to do is call their customer service.
Forget about it.
And it's like, I want to have a conversation. I want to ask you, can I get a replacement? And they just will not. We will not speak. You have to email us. And now, what am I going to do? Spend all day emailing you back and forth and emailing. And I think that part of, I call it the Amazon world. What do you call it? Like online buying, right? You know, we have certain people on our staff. I don't want to drop certain names. And I have argued with them because my thing is build a relationship with a butcher and a florist and a fishmonger, whatever they are. And then you're going to pay a little bit more because they can't sell at the same scale that a big box store can bring it at. But you get so much more, right? They know you. They take care of you. You have a relationship with them. You get a better, in my opinion, a better product. And I just find that the Gen Z and the millennials are like, well, why would you walk into a store when I can click, and have it delivered to me? But, you know, you're ordering something online from a huge purveyor that's not giving you the same quality as the mom and pop person, right? And the mom and pop person can go up, oh, I'm going to give you what, you want what we gave you last time, and oh, I remember it, and how did everybody like it? And I threw my hands up to them. I was like, these people, I have questions to ask that would best be served by a discussion, right? And you're telling me that, no, I have to either talk to they had me, you know those messaging things?
The chatbot, an AI.
Remember when you're a fake, you don't even exist.
You're
a fake person.
But, so this is the throwback
and that's
to
my whole thing.
This is experience design. So this is what we were talking about in the beginning. I was like, making that feel the right way, that's good experience design.
Yeah.
The other thing that you said that I want to just jump on is that I think it's going to swing back. I think even the young generation now is more analog is happening, meaning more like physical experience. You know, experience design in my world is physical and digital, but there's a lot more like activations and you know, things. And
what's an activation?
Like a brand activation. Like, oh, we put the Aperol Spritz thing in the middle of Union Square or the U.S. Open or whatever it is. But that's Instagrammable. But
how does that help Tony the Butcher?
No, so I'm going to get back to Tony the Butcher. So because that's happening, I think that every brand should have a physical component to it. Every company should have a physical component to it. Whether you're a pure online.
Again, what does that mean in English? Because I don't get.
So like Amazon, I'll use your Amazon. Yeah. Like Amazon has Amazon Go stores, but you can go in and physically touch Amazon because of that, which means that you're more connected emotionally to the brand of Amazon. That generally you just click, and stuff comes to you. So Tony the Butcher, and back to what we were saying about what makes a red sauce joint and whatnot. It's not necessarily the food, it's the experience, right? So you go into a place that's maybe not the greatest food ever, but the experience was excellent. So Tony the Butcher has a shop that I've been in those shops where he's like, oh no, we're doing great. I'm like, what do you mean? You've been here for 90 years. The guy down the block just went out of business. How are you doing great? He's like, people come from Staten Island, they come from Long Island, they come back and they order stuff. They call me and order stuff. And I send it to them, and I'm like, really? Like, how is that a thing that can happen? But then down the block, that doesn't happen. So I think it helps Tony the Butcher, and that this shift into like, I want to go in and see Tony the Butcher and talk to him is going to happen more. At least I like to believe that.
I think if these business, I agree with you. It's funny. It comes from a lot of perspectives. Like I think there's certain businesses, because you do see a lot of times like Italian butcher closes and maybe it becomes a sneaker store, and then like 2 iterations later, it becomes another artisanal butcher with a guy from Portland with the giant beard who was an accountant and now he's charging you 10 times for the cut that you were getting at the Italian guy with no fuss. And it's like these Disney experiences. But I think people do seek out the authentic and the individualized and the expertise that comes with these kind of things. Like I went to the grocery store the other day, I ran home from work. My wife works from the house, and she says to me, oh, I wanted to get fish for the kids. So I'm like, I'll go. I just got out of the car. I'll cut back in. So I wanted it to be quick. I run to my local grocery store, and because they understaff now and everything is a machine, I'm standing like a drool in front of the fish guy, and there's no fish guy. And I'm waiting, pay me and some other lady and her kid, and I'm waiting, and somebody from the store, it's a chain store, comes through and says, oh, let me get the guy. I'm waiting. Finally, I said to myself, I got to get chicken because I can't wait for my kids got to eat, right? So I go and get it, and I thought to myself, there's a guy 5 minutes more that I could have driven to who sells fish, right? Whatever he's got I could have made that extra effort. Next time I'll do that because you want that interaction. And I read all the time about these chains that are taking away the automated payment machines because people want to interact with others. They want to have questions answered. I've been reading about malls and the sort of, potential value in the mall experience. People miss this stuff. They need interaction and they need individual attention and expertise. And I do think that's where, if the proprietors are willing to engage, maybe in a little bit of a new way, there's a lot of potential for these places.
But I think the problem is people are cheap.
Yeah, it's true.
Also true, yeah.
Because can I plug my fishmonger?
Yeah, sure.
Right? Oh, I go to Sonny's in Little Ferry, New Jersey. Support him. He's Mofates. He's originally in Hoboken. It's all excellent product, right? And the supermarket product, the mass supermarket chain product, it's nowhere close to what he has.
Yeah.
Right? So of course you're going to pay more. But he has fresh Allige like every Wednesday. Yeah. Right? That's just worth it, right? And sardines and everything, but it costs more because it's a quality product. And I kind of got used to him, and I can't eat cheap stuff anymore. It brings it up, and he knows the product. You go in, you ask him, Sonny, how do you cook this, or you got to cook that, or that's different, and he'll say 25 minutes in the broil, 170. I mean, where else are you going to get that? But you got it. You're going to spend more for quality, and I think a lot of people beat that drum, but they don't deliver on it. Now, I'm not saying that people have tight economic times and stuff like that. I understand 100%, but also these guys got to make a living. I mean, can you imagine being in a fish store all day and your hands get all funny from being in the cold? The same thing with a butcher. They're tough professions. They are tough professions. So yes, that guy. You gotta compensate them for the quality product. But I think we should do a road trip to our purveyors. But they'll probably complain, you come here, I'm busy now. What are you going to come here for now? You're going to come at 10 o'clock when I got nobody here.
We'll make it a tour on the map.
We should make it.
Right. I would love to go.
It's an interesting point. I want to talk to you about that because you said earlier about content and the creation. Like now you're interviewing people and so you set out to do this map with the idea of, I always say maybe yours is different. For me, I like the idea of revealing more than reviewing, right? I don't think of myself as any kind of culinary expert. Sometimes it is about the experience more than the food. Sometimes the food is average. Where is the kind of end goal, and how are you getting there, and how can we in the audience participate and help?
Yeah, so I love this because the end goal is really to have the map of, I mean, it's crazy to say all of the places, right? Because there's so many. But that were there and that are there now, right? And so that's a whole lot of places, but it's also so that people can interact and be like, oh, what's over here in Ohio? What's that place? Oh, that's not there anymore. It used to be that, and maybe learn a little bit about the story of where it came from and why it closed, and or it's still going, or whatever that is. The way that I love for people to participate, and this happens just naturally when I do a particular episode, and my favorite thing that happens when I drop an episode is the comments explode with, how did you not get the fried capellini? Or why did you not go down the block and go to this place?
We get that all the time.
But I love it because it just makes the map deeper, right? Yeah. If you look at Long Island on the map, I'd gone out to, I can't remember the place I went, but that spawned this, but it was hundreds. You got to go here, you got to go here. So they're all on the map now as community recommended. So that's how I want people to participate with this. And then, of course, some of them I'll go to. And then maybe there's a world in which it's not just me doing these episodes. Lots of other people do these kinds of videos and things. And I liked your point before. It's not a review. It's not, you should come here because this is the best this or the best that. There's a lot of that out there. I think that's great. But that's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is, hey, I went to this place. This is who made it. This is when it started. This is why. This is some of the stuff that I think is good. This is some of the stuff that you guys all said that is good.
Yeah.
Also, there's this picture on the wall of his grandfather that was in front of Radio City Music Hall. That stuff is the stuff that, to me, is the magic of all these places. And it is across the whole country. Yep. It's not just a New York, Boston, Chicago, New Orleans kind of thing. Cleveland's Little Italy is one of my favorite places I've ever been. And the things that I discovered there, I was like, this is incredible.
There's a consensus here about how valuable Cleveland is.
Cleveland
we were all
is.
Big Cleveland fans.
When it hits the fan one day and Italian America disappears, Is Cleveland going to be the Alamo?
I know you would recommend. I mean, I have some.
They're such nice people.
I have some Alamo villages.
And I like Rhode Island too. Rhode Island's nice.
Let me tell you, there's some places.
Rosetta, Pennsylvania's nice.
Hamilton, New Jersey.
Hamilton's
we went to the 150th Lady Mount Carmel. I'm in love with Hamilton, and that's one of the things we've learned doing these trips and doing Greetings from Italian America. When we were doing that, like you said, you missed this, you missed that. That's fantastic. But also you realize how much Italian is out there. And it's not just the New Yorks. Like, I think back to one of the experiences I had that was really fundamental to me. I used to walk to church when I still lived in Brooklyn. I tried a new church. And I walked past this restaurant called Two Toms. And I love the old signage. It was this old. Did you ever go to Two Toms? Mm. It was this old, really deco-looking signage. And finally one day, I crossed the street, and I looked in the window, and I see the menu, and it's an Italian red sauce joint. I'm like, how did I miss this? I've lived in this neighborhood 20 years. I never knew this was here. It was a little bit out of my neighborhood, but... So I happened to mention it to my dad, and he goes, oh, my God, my buddy goes there all the time. It's his favorite restaurant. Blah, blah, blah. You got to go. It ends up they're closing, the next week. And I actually called my dad's buddy. He got me and my wife in there. It was the second to last night. And I thought to myself, I got to do something to make sure that the next guy who loves this stuff doesn't miss out on the fact that there's a place around the corner from him. And let alone that there are places out there that you stumble upon in what people would think of as these non-Italian places, right? Him and I were driving to Cleveland, actually, as a matter of fact. We're driving to or from Cleveland, and we had to take up Pisciata. He's like, we got to pull over. So we pull off the highway in a little town called Clearfield. The town was called something else, but it ends up as Clearfield was the section, Pennsylvania, middle of the state. And we see red, white, and green. So
they were like little pennants.
Yeah, right? So I'm like, it's either a taco stand or maybe we'll get lucky. Sure enough, we pull over. The place was called Santino Cetto's. It was a family sausage maker that had been there for 100 years, whatever. The family had closed in the 80s, 90s, and the grandson took his family recipe, left a career in California in computer programming, a successful career, decided he wanted to move home and make sausage again like his grandparents did. And we stumbled on this guy and this place, and we got all the food. It was like heaven, right? It was we found our tribe in the middle of a bathroom stop.
That's amazing.
But I want to go on record for one problem. You want to know a problem that we have? What's hurting this? Because we're so obsessed with college that and culinary school, the CIA is the Harvard of cooking, right? But taking over the family business is considered almost like in some parts it's not successful. Oh, well, your kid's taking over the restaurant? Like what, they couldn't, it's like, well, you're supposed to graduate from the family business and go to school and become what they call professional, which I don't like to use that term, right? Oh, well, my kid, he's not in the restaurant. He's an accountant. And I'll tell you why. There was one Italian family business, and their child had gone to great heights in professional business. And I said to them, well, your child must be they must know the business. Like, they must know the back thing of the kitchen I figured they just helped out as a teenager. They went berserk. They said, we never let our kids work in the restaurant. Never. Our kids are going to be... And I was like, you're artisans. You're downplaying your own value. Mm-hmm. And I think in Italy, if you're a master baker, you're an artist. If Absolutely. You're a master restaurateur, you're an artist. That is not looked down upon because they are artists, right? Yeah. And my thing is that...
It's like passing on a
guild
membership.
You could go to a 4-year... If you want the 4-year college for your kid, your kid can go to college for 4 years and improve the family business because they went to CIA or they became an accountant and bring it back. But we culturally dismiss Italian. Well, his son went and took over the business. Like, it was an insult. Number one, your kid is going to make more money. Like I tell everybody, you want to send your kid, make your kid a plumber.
But I'm noticing
That's
that
difficult.
There's a change. There's a change brewing there.
I hope you're right.
First of all, it's beyond Italian America. People are starting to say, like, wait a minute, I'm spending an insane amount of money, either parent or the kid's going into debt or whatever it is. And, especially in this job market, the return's not so great. It's like, how many lawyers can you mint, right?
I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, no.
I have a JD.
I know you do.
A plumber needs as much brains to be a lawyer.
Absolutely right.
And when are we going to come to that point?
No, but I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there. I really do.
It's this arrogance
I can
of,
sense it. I can
know.
sense that there's a change. People talk about the vocation because they don't exist anymore, too, right? Well, we're losing all these things. And I see it in Italian-American businesses. I'm starting to see, like I was thinking about that as we're talking, right? I don't know if you were with me. Maybe you were. Were you with me? We ate at Mosca's outside of New Orleans.
No.
Did you ever go there?
Love Mosca's.
Was that when we were there with the judge?
We didn't eat with him that night. No, that was before. We ate another place.
No, then I wasn't there.
It's kind of the Rayos of New Orleans, I guess I would make equivalent. Like it's the real top red saucy destination. And I guess the granddaughter or great-granddaughter of the founders, Lisa Mosca, is really active in the business. And like they've done a great job of recognizing how valuable the place and its brand and its food is. And you could see that there's a passion there for the next generation. And it's contagious in the business, and I see a lot more of that. I see those bubbles.
Stanley Tucci's big night was the one time I feel that was accurately portrayed of people in the trades. I'll use that word because that's the colloquial term that's used as equally as artists. And I think that I'm going to say something else as a criticism, and I think you hit on it. Okay, we said, oh well, if the food ain't that great, you still have the atmosphere. I'm going to say a red sauce joint that I really used to love. The old man was from Sicily, and he ran that kitchen like a dictator. And everything that came out was excellent. It was very well priced. And he worked there until he physically could not work anymore. And when the kids took over, the kids only handled the front. They only handled the register. They were never in the kitchen. And the quality nosedived. And you went in and said, it's just not the same because they didn't have that hands-on.
Yeah.
And I think a part of it is some of those restaurants, people are going to eat it. People are going to eat it anyway. They're not going to care. They're regulars. And I think that what's happening is, yes, some of those places have gone down quality-wise. And I think that the people who took it over from the pioneer generation have allowed that to happen. They've gone cheap on the ingredients. They have people in the back who really don't know what they're doing, but they're cheap labor. And they're not in the back teaching them or observing them. And the idea is, well, people are going to come anyway. And then what happens one day is that you die because your quality's gone down, and you hurt the red sauce as I don't want to say brand, but
sure,
you know all this stuff. What do I call it?
Yes,
a genre.
No, I think you can. I think
you
can call it a brand. I like it as a brand.
The red sauce brand is hurt because you've allowed it to go down because you got lazy, and you got cheap because you thought the customers are going to keep coming.
Yeah, it's John. It's your point from before of like you're doing it for you. That's lost. You're doing it for people to come in, sit down, and make a $50 cover for each person or whatever it is. And you lose the authenticity. You lose, and the food doesn't have to be great quality or that good. It's the cliche of like we cook with love.
Yes.
If you take not great ingredients, but you cook it with love, it tastes better. It feels better. All those things.
Michelin-starred restaurant.
What Pat's saying is, the next generation isn't doing that.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be with the love part, but like
it's true.
Yeah,
we can say
you can
here.
feel it. You can feel
because
it when
the
it's
old
like,
man, the old Italian off the boat mentality is: if my name is attached to this, it will be the best possible.
Yeah,
and that old man, every dish that left that kitchen was his quality, or you had any. That was it.
Yep.
The kids do not have. It's the Italian stonemason, the off the boat crowd. Or someone's going to find that put it incorrect, but go suck on a Paisani Pop. Go suck on a Paisani Pop. The off the boat crowd was so married. They were quality.
yes.
I am a quality bricklayer. I am a quality shoemaker.
Yeah.
I am a quality laying concrete. And once they went, their kids do not have that Italian mentality. No. The majority of them is, even if it's a hot dog, if it's leaving my hot dog stand, it's going to be the best hot dog that I can possibly produce.
Yep.
Speaking of hot dogs, are you doing Jersey Italian hot dogs? Have you been to a couple of these places yet?
I have, but I haven't done an episode on any of them. There's holes in the map too. I should say out loud so people don't get mad at me. Up until this point, it's been places that I've gone, and then I've filled in with a few others. But like, there's a huge hole in Jersey. I haven't touched anything in Boston. So like,
you're a one-man show. You got
one-man show. So that's why I'd love more community help. That would be amazing. But no, back to the hot dogs.
Yeah, you've eaten these things.
Yes.
I lived in Jersey for 15 years, whatever it was. I still never had one. He got to go out, do some filming. I missed it, but I'm dying to have one of these Jersey.
But you gotta say something. That the Italian hot dog was a Newark Elizabeth thing.
Right.
But I'm saying like some of these things are real micro products.
Oh,
right?
100%.
The only reason we knew about it was my grandfather worked in Elizabeth or Union, and he picked it up from there. But nobody in Jersey City would have known what that was.
But see, that's the beauty of this whole idea of
it's
mapping.
like Italy. It's like that micro
It's
product.
like Speedy's in upstate New York, or who's, it's a fried ravioli. I guess St. Louis is a bigger, obviously, geography, but they don't call it fried ravioli. They call it baked ravioli. They call it something, but it's the other way, but it's deep fried.
Right.
Or some of these greens that I had in Memphis, they call like Italian greens, but they're very like localized tradition. Or the fried chicken and chicken ravioli we had in Tontitown, Arkansas. These like real micro regional dishes, which I love. Or some of the old red sauce standards that are disappearing, like chicken Vesuvio or Caruso, right?
Yeah.
To me,
like scarparilla and stuff like that. But I blame.
You think that's disappearing too?
Sure, because I think that Marcello has on that I call it the New York Times world. When they began to travel, so remember in the 80s, Northern Italian food dominated, and that's not before the Northern Italians beat me up, but that was like the in thing, which is a very different cuisine, and kind of like the red sauce was all the red checkered tablecloth and the bottle of Chianti, that was kind of passé, and I think that kind of hurt us because the brain was I'm not.
No, I agree with that.
You agree? What do you think?
I think that there was that time in which Italian American restaurants turned into more Italian restaurants.
Yes.
Like, right? Did you say 80s? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I would say the 80s.
Yeah, and that became very northern, and like there's more Alfredo, and we can debate that crazy, but like cream and just the things that are more northern things.
The arrival of arugula and balsamic vinegar.
Right, and these are not bad things.
No, they're great.
But some people use them as not as a and. Right.
My father will to this day says all the time, like, what happened to my red wine vinegar? How can I not get a salad with red wine vinegar anymore? It's always balsamic vinegar on everything. Because
Americans love sweet stuff. The conversation. Why balsamic take off? Because Americans will put sugar. We're in a cola world. The work I did in the alcohol industry. Somebody goes, listen, Americans love, and I'm not going to certain parts of New America, Italian America that we love, drinks, and I'm not going to name them. Because we got friends there, we don't want to make enemies. They love sweet wine. I can't get that. They love I can't understand the Moscato with food. But I think that non-Italian people in those areas, or people of Italian descent, whatever you want to call them, they have a soda mentality, and they like that Moscato because that white Moscato's it's like Manischewitz, right?
Yeah.
Manischewitz is
like Manischewitz.
Manischewitz is like. I can't see drinking, but though I know even Italian people off the boat who will drink Manischewitz with a meal. It's a Concord grape sweet wine. I don't see it for Jews. It's like a sacramental wine almost, right? But I don't see it paired with a meal. I think it's like you could do different stuff with it. It's a sweet thing. Like Moscato's great, but I would do it with more. I would put it where I would feel the traditional Italians in Italy would put it, as opposed to even Uncle Lambrusco. They go Uncle Lambrusco like. Pavarotti drank Lambrusco like it was coming out of the tap. But the Lambrusco that Pavarotti drank was a dry Lambrusco, where Americans love a Lambrusco because it's the closest thing to soda. It's a bubbly, sweet, grape
soda
wine.
The newest is there's some trend I just saw the other day, ice cream and red wine. Have you seen this yet?
No.
It's like it's the thing. It's running on all
the ice cream and olive oil was a couple of years ago, right?
and I was like, someone texted it to me. They're like, "Are you into this? You look at this?" Because I get a lot of that, right? Oh, look at this, and I was like, "I will never do that. I'll never do that."
Do you know what we had in Tontitown, Arkansas? This isn't. Somebody's gonna make $1 million on this, so thank you. You're welcome. We had sweet red wine in a Slurpee. What do you call those things?
Slurpee.
The Slurpee?
Icy.
Oh,
like a.
It was so good.
I don't remember that.
It did the spin.
Yeah.
It was like I don't know how they had like the machine, like the Slurpee machine.
Yeah.
And ice would come out, but it was they put
a slushy,
Slurpee made from sweet wine.
Wow.
Now that to me was an Italian. Like, you go someplace like that's a wow. That to the people in Tontitown, Arkansas, I want to give a medal. I would have
Italian
that
ingenuity.
It was Italian ingenuity.
Speaking of, you come from Long Island originally. You said right. Now you're in Queens, but you were in Williamsburg for a good long while, right?
Yeah.
The neighborhood that I'm born in, Sabino's from. There was Cafe Capri that was there for years.
Yes.
They were the probably inventors of the slushy version of sweet espresso.
I want to actually do a story with Cooge because it felt like he knows a little bit about the backstory.
Yeah.
When I lived there, Cafe Capri Sun was there, and
Yeah.
they were still there running it, but I never extracted any of the stories
Cooge
from them.
has got his coffee shop. For those who are not from the neighborhood, he's got his new coffee pastry sandwich place in what was once, which again, thanks to Sabino's passion and creativity, I mean, that's the same idea, right? It's like a hermit crab into the shell of what was once a community institution, then it became like an art store or whatever, and the opportunity arose to bring it back, closer, just like Ferdinando's, right? It's not Ferdinando's, but it's got the spirit or some version. Now, I haven't eaten there yet, so I can't say if it tastes like Ferdinando's, but similarly, right? And what a great place that was.
But the stories of Cafe Capri, like I'm sure that they're there. I just don't know who to tap. When I did the story of what was this episode? It wasn't Bamonte's, although of course I did Bamonte's. I love Bamonte's, but it was something in Williamsburg. Let's call it Bamonte's. But people were like, how did you not talk about Creasy's? And I was like, Creasy's? What the?
Creasy's was
what is Creasy's?
Creasy's was my favorite.
And then
and Milo's too, but Creasy's was my family's.
Is it gone or is it still there?
Gone. Creasy's gone. Creasy's gone since 96,
Long time,
7, 8, something like that.
So when Frost closed, it must have been that. So I lived across the street from Frost.
I was stunned when Frost closed.
That was the real estate.
That's the real exactly.
Frost was my favorite restaurant ever. Well, Ferdinando's too. I've lost a bunch recently.
You've been hit with a lot,
Frost was strong though, because you'd still walk in it and you'd be like, okay, this is cool. This is not knowing if you know,
Nobody
you know
knows
kind of
here.
thing, right?
Frost, you get the peppers and the bread and the butter on the table. I just took Irma. Irma came to do the show with us during the feast, and she's like, "Can we go to lunch?" I said, "What do you feel like?" She's like, "I feel like that." I said, she mentioned Frost. I said, well, we'll go to Vincent's. And to me, Vincent's is the closest thing to Frost. I still go to Vincent's. Okay. That's my go-to place for that real kind of thick gravy-esque seafood gravy. Like, you can't, fried shrimp. You don't get that in a lot of places anymore. You really don't.
That spawned a lot of community outreach, which I loved. Yeah. Because my Sicilian side of my family grew up in Greenwich Village, West 3rd and Thompson. My grandfather had a trucking company with the yard in Williamsburg, near there, right? And so that was sort of part of that side of my family. And then I have a bunch of friends from there that grew up there, and then they moved out to Oyster Bay, which is where I grew up on Long Island, which was a lot of Williamsburg folks moved there because, that's how it did. Oh, one guy goes, everybody goes, and da-da-da. But I was talking about the trifecta. Either you were a Bamonte's family, a Frost family, or a Cono Pescatore family, and I didn't know about Creasy's. And then everyone was like, "What about Creasy's?" And so, that was the fourth of the trifecta.
We were everything. Like, my family had a lot of events at Bamonte's and stuff. But I remember my childhood more time at Creasy's, and for a while, the Creasy's family, they had moved to Long Island. They were selling the sauce online. I don't know if they still do it in small batches. They were selling the Creasy's tomato sauce.
You know what else I think hurt us? Years ago, we'll say our childhood, I could say in the 80s, nobody ever went out to eat. That was like once or twice a year. Yeah. That was a special occasion. Oh, it's your birthday, we're going to go out to eat. Like today, I think most of the millennial Gen Z parents, 2 people working, like they're getting takeout food or outside food much more than they have inside food. Yeah. And I just think that that's why I think that if you take like the Manor in West Orange, the seafood buffet at the Manor in West Orange was the Wolfino du Moon, right? It was the greatest. Like, it was expensive for my mother not to complain. Does that make sense? It was just. Do you know what I'm talking about? That Manor?
I don't know the Manor. The mother complaining about that. I totally know that.
Let me tell you about the Manor. The Manor, the German guy who founded the place. I guess it was in New Year's Eve 1960 they opened. He had worked on a cruise line in the 50s. And that was the ambiance of the place. Everything was sterling silver. The burnt that sounds amazing. Everything was sterling silver. And it was a seafood buffet. You couldn't eat for 3 days beforehand because you gotta get your money's worth. But it was, if you timed it right, you could make out, right? They never made money on me. I can guarantee they never made money on me. But it was a fancy place. You had to wear a jacket, right? It was all, because everything was sterling, and it was a white tablecloth, and it was a fancy night to go out. And they closed. And somebody said to me, which was a great point, was that people don't want to get dressed to go out anymore.
Yeah.
So now that and there was a crowd there. It was like I called us like we hold on. We're you can come in the Alamo with us, the Italian, like the old school Alamo, whatever it is, and you could see it. We were like a high five. Like we all put the jacket on, and it went from a jacket and tie to a jacket with an open shirt, and then you had an open. And people just want to go in, sweatpants and sneakers.
Yeah.
Or jeans and yoga pants because they're running everywhere and the kids are going 18,000 extracurricular activities. They don't have that time or the bandwidth. And I think sometimes they don't even have the clothes anymore. I think there's a whole group of people that don't have jackets and ties
You're
anymore,
probably right.
Yeah. And I think that
athleisure
kind of
took over.
Athleisure,
yeah. Athleisure took over.
And
they don't have that.
And it's impacting suits. I was somewhere the other day and I was looking at I bought one myself. It's like it looks like kind of a jacket, but kind of not. Like you could wear it over a tie and a shirt. Like I do it sometimes. You see, I wear like an over shirt instead because when I was in D.C., I wore a suit almost every day for 6 years, and I liked that. I mean, I always joke about you. I've never seen you with a piece of stubble. You shave every morning.
Every
That's
single
right?
solitary day.
Yes,
because I hate the feeling.
Yeah, but I mean,
if it was cool, because people told me that the stubble's like a cool thing now.
I mean,
it was. I missed that boat. But I like it nice, and I know what I do. I scrub. I do the scrub.
Yeah, you got. I know you got all.
I got to fight because I'm 50. I got
you keep it together.
I know 50 is that age. I could go to like.
But I could see where you don't want to put a tie on if you don't have to, and like I get it. I get it. It's a hard pace of life. The phone.
I don't like to put on a tie because I dribble. That's why I have my. Should we sell my custom?
Yes,
napkins,
I'd be thrilled to sell
my
you
personalized napkins because people know I travel.
Airline napkins, yes.
Airline napkins because I've ruined ties.
He does spill a lot.
Never again. I'm a because like I said, I got a physique a little bit like Dolly Parton. I told you how broad my chest. I mean, I got a broad chest. And look at this. It falls. If it falls, it goes boom.
Boom.
That ruins a tie. If it fell there.
I feel like we may have the same problem.
Do you want the airline napkin? Oh, it's the best.
I might have to go airline napkin.
We'll go to the place in Stanford and we'll
this is great.
We should.
That's
a goal.
We'll model the P.O.B.
Yes, the airline napkins. We should go to the place
I'm
in
a
Stanford.
sicko. I'm a sicko, and this is for the. I'm a sicko. He got me one from a certain airline we won't mention. It wasn't your fault.
Fell in my bag.
It fell in your bag. And he said,
So
I found a lady in England who personalized them. So I have P.O.B. personalized napkins.
But they have like a buttonhole.
Buttonhole.
Yeah.
P.O.B. That's
amazing.
That's either really classy, original, or cafoneria on a different level. I don't know which one, but I don't care. And if you think it's cafoneria, you can get one of John's Paisani Pop and suck the Paisani Pop. Paisani Pop or suck it just for you. We have amazing flavors. What do we got? Prickly pear, fica di India.
Yeah.
Only Italiana flavors.
They're all Italian flavors. That's for sure. We should do it, red sauce, lunch, dinner, whatever, together. And I want to hear more about your project and how we can be active. If we were to pick, what's your bucket list? What's your number one place you're dying to go?
Dying to go. Dantana's.
Oh, yes. It's on my list, too.
So I'd say Rayo's. I still haven't been to Rayo's properly.
What's properly?
Like here in the dining room here. Like I've been to Vegas. I've been to LA.
Oh, yeah.
I've been during COVID when they did takeout. I was like, they're doing takeout. I said to my wife, I'm like, we're going. So that's on the list. But really, Dantana's, like that room. I feel like that's going to be such an experience. LA.
That's what these boots are based on. Is
Didn't we
Dantana.
go
Oh,
there?
is it really?
Did we go there?
No, we went to Michelli's.
Okay.
Oh,
In
we got to go
Hollywood.
back.
Yeah, we got to go back.
I love the Italian American in LA.
Great.
Like just the how it came to be and all of that. But like, there's Dantana's. Down the street from Dantana's is La Dolce Vita, which just opened a couple years ago. But it's another room that doesn't have a lot of windows. And even in Williamsburg, Junior and Son just was redone as a restaurant, right? It's not a lot of windows. I don't know. There's something about those spots that are intriguing to me, where you're like, okay, we're just engulfed in the booth, in the experience that's happening.
It's very womb-like.
Yeah, very womb-like.
That's deep.
Yeah, you look at red sauce. Red sauce places to me have I don't want to say a darkness, but a warmth and a coziness.
Yeah.
Of them.
Is that because we're returning to the womb?
I think so. Yeah,
That's
I really
awfully
believe
deep.
that.
That's when you guys go deep.
Do you ever go to
It's
Sam's
deep.
on Court Street?
Oh my
That's on
God.
my list.
Sam, Lou, who runs Sam's.
So
or
I
used to
lived
run.
there for 20 years. I never went. I a couple of times I go because it was like weird timing, whatever. One time I went, I couldn't find anybody in the restaurant. I sat there for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. I left. It's high on my bucket list.
Yes, that's because Lou is like,
I got to ask you something.
Maybe you can eat today. Maybe you can't eat today.
That's kinda how
I
it felt.
love Sam's though. I love
Really?
because
We gotta
Lou
go.
makes it a thing where you're
All
like,
right,
I don't know.
so you know Lou?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, you take me to Sam's, I'll take you to Rayo's. Is that a deal?
That's a deal. That's
Great.
great. I love it.
Let me ask you a question: where's the state of tortoni, spumoni as desserts in these places? That was like the tortoni was like the
Very low.
spumoni.
Very low. I don't see that a lot at all.
Lamanja's in White Plains does it still. Tortoni.
Because Nasto's makes it.
Yeah.
I know, which is the official ice cream Italian American producer in New Jersey. And they also, every Chinese restaurant, I mean, that's now Chinese is the Chinese American restaurants. When they would have the delicious vanilla ice cream, that was always Nasto's.
Is that right?
Yeah, but that they do tortoni, spumoni.
In Chinese restaurants?
No, in Nasto's.
Wait a minute, that's crazy.
For all those youngsters out there, we have a lot of Gen Z kids who don't know about these things. They need to go out and find these things.
There's nothing like spumoni, tortoni, all those things I love. I go crazy for that stuff.
They were so emblematic of the.
Yeah.
Well, they were Neapolitan.
Yeah.
They were Neapolitan products that came to America and were Americanized, and because so many of the original restaurateurs, especially here in Manhattan, Little Italy, were Neapolitans.
You're making me hungry. I think I'm gonna go for shrimp at Vincent's.
I'm gonna tell you something. You are doing. John and I are gonna start our own order of merit. The Italian. Did I tell you about this? My new idea.
No.
Because now we're going to give out our own order of merit. Because
It's a good idea.
certain governments of certain countries are a little stingy with
They're a
them
little
now.
stingy with
and we're going to
medals.
give you the Grand Cross for Italian America for what you are doing for our people.
That's
we
true.
cannot thank you enough.
I love it.
And
I
how
appreciate
can
it.
our listeners get behind you?
Yeah.
How can they help you? How can they help you carry
Yeah,
this
where can they
standard
find you?
forward?
Yeah. So the red sauce map.
Tell them.
The redsaucemap.com. That's got all the spots, but it also has a place for you to sort of join the family, as I call it, where I would love to have as many of your favorite spots that I have not gone to yet. And I want, like I said before, all you guys like to help with this, because I can't do it all myself, right? Like you said, if you could eat red sauce every single day, you would do it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it. I need multiple of those napkins. I can't do it anymore. So sort of participating there, and then all my stories are Forking Tasty. That's the sort of other side of my world. So you can.
What's the
you can
other
go
side
there
of your
too.
world so everybody understands?
Yeah, so Forking Tasty is the Instagram account
And the blog.
and the
right?
blog, right? And the Red Sauce Map and redsaucemap.com is where I've culminated all of that together, so it's easy for me and the rest of everybody to sort of find all those places.
Well, I hope everybody out there is visiting these. I'm going to be scouring
Support,
and using.
support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stop if you're in the car, you're listening, pull over, and what do you call that? Follow, follow, comment, because we have to be a team. We have to roll together. Italian Americans have a gene called "I can't cooperate."
Mm-hmm.
We have to get rid of that gene. We have to flush it out of us, and we have to get behind it. We got to support. Give him, those places, those unknown places. We all got to work together because you are doing yeoman's work on behalf of all of us, and we owe you a great debt.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the cross.
For what you're doing.
I appreciate you guys inviting me down. It's been
No,
an
happy to
honor.
have you. I
We're
hope we
very
get to
honored
have
to
you
have you
back.
here.
And
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I do
guys.
mean it. We're gonna do a trade off. We'll go to Sam's and we'll go to Rayo's, and that'll be the
That's
deal.
great.
And
That's
we'll
great.
talk about how much we love other red sauce joints. Well, we're at another one that we're enjoying, and
We can only go to Rayo's if Susan Palercho's there.
yeah, we should. Susan's got to come on the show. By the way,
Susan's got to come on the show, but Rayo's experience, to have the full Rayo's experience, you need
If you
our
could have
dear
Susan, the best.
and beloved
I
friend
love Susan to death, and she's my neighbor too. I mean, I should be driving.
She was
her
supposed
back
to
and
invite us
forth.
over for coffee. She never did.
No, she does. She always texts me. We
She
could go
texts you.
anytime. Well, Susan
She never invited me over to bring an enemies. Well, that's all right.
She
Nah,
has
I am
me.
all
She does say
Soch,
brown
right?
and black.
That's all right.
Susan is the preserver of brown or black, and Janello is preserving a lot of our red sauce culture. And I hope you are out there checking out the website, checking out the blog and the map, and supporting. Like, subscribe here at the Italian American Podcast and everything we're doing here at Red Sauce Studios. We need you in the tribe to help us out. We hope you've enjoyed this conversation as much as we have. Thanks for listening.
Hold on a
Oh,
minute.
wait. Sorry.
He's
got to get his kazoo.
I'm glad we got an ashpet then.
That's right.
Nikki! Arosta.
You got it? All right, you ready? Here we go. It's ready. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
That you're born in Italian. If you want your life to be great, see that you're born in Italiano, and your life will be great. that you're born an Italiano and your life